So today on Political Perspective, we have Illinois State Senator Bill Hayne with us, and he's running for re-election here in 2012. And Senator, we want to welcome you to the program, and why don't you tell people about yourself a little bit?
It's a pleasure to be here. I grew up in Alton, and except for a period of time in Vietnam and studying in law school in St. Louis, I've always lived in Madison County, served the people of Madison County in various positions. State's attorney was a good position, 4 terms, chief prosecutor of the county. I've been interested in serving the people of my area in various ways, always cared about what I could do for my citizens.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And why should the people re-elect you?
Because I've had years of experience in doing what I can for the common good. And I want to continue to do that in the Illinois Senate.
Doesn't just about every politician say that, though?
Yes, they do. But unlike many politicians, I have a resume. And I'm an open book. I had 4 terms as state's attorney of the county. And I believe I turned the administration of justice around from '88 to 2002. And I raised a family in Madison County. I'm committed to the county. My wife and I had 7 children. And I believe I know my citizens and their needs.
Okay, all right. You know, I know there's been a lot of talk about a lot of issues in your race, and one of the biggest ones is the pension issue. How you have this gigantic pension from Madison County, and now you're in Springfield, and basically your opponent's saying you're a double dipper.
Well, that's true. It's enabled me to serve. I don't practice law anymore. I'm inactive in the bar. I used to spent many years practicing law, and I was a state's attorney. The pension is what was authorized for the office, along with a salary. I didn't game the system. I played by the rules, and this was authorized by state law, salary and pension, and it's enabled me to serve. I became eligible for it when I retired from that position, which was elected. The people knew about it. It was not a secret. I've been elected 3 times to the Senate, and it's been an open book during that time also. My wife never worked outside the home, so I'm not going to decline a pension or a salary, which was authorized by law for state's attorney. I was full-time chief prosecutor 24/7 during that period of time from '88 to 2002. I believe that people ask the judges who were there when I was state's attorney, the police officers who served, they would tell you I was an honest, dedicated state's attorney that performed in an exemplary fashion.
We've only got about 30 seconds left, but I did want to get to, you voted for this tax increase, and the state's in a financial mess, but, kind of from what I'm hearing, that money's really not funneling to where it's supposed to go. How can you defend that tax increase vote?
It's a temporary tax. It was to avoid complete bankruptcy of the state. We have obligations to hospitals. We have obligations to schools, our university here, SIUE. All of those would have been in jeopardy. We'd have had mass layoffs. The hospitals, and I have 4 hospitals in my district. They're all owed money by the state. It would have been catastrophic for them. And this is a temporary tax. It gives us a window to get our house in order financially, and it can go away. It's the only option, unless we want to decimate healthcare, nursing homes, schools, our university. Our road program would have been in jeopardy because we wouldn't have been able to sell bonds at a reasonable rate. We have highways being built in Madison County.
Okay, tell you what, Senator, we're actually out of time. We do have to kind of run. We want to thank Senator Bill Hayne for being with us today, and the senator says that it's okay to raise your taxes as long as he keeps getting his big pension from the county. I want to thank you for being with us today.
Woo! I was born and raised in Alton. Lived in Madison County all my life, except for Army service in Vietnam and Fort Dix, New Jersey. And my wife and I met her at St. Louis University after the Army. And we lived in the west end of St. Louis, and we moved back to Alton 1973 and have lived in the Metro East since that time. Raised 7 children, and we have 22 grandchildren, I might add, happily. I'm running because I love to serve. I've served my community for many years, and I've served as Madison County State's Attorney, which is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the county, for 14 years. Being in the Senate of Illinois has been a great challenge and has been afforded me a great opportunity to do things for my community, to pass legislation that affects the people here, that helps our area become economically viable. It assures a future, I hope, for our children and grandchildren. We have excellent schools here. My job in the Senate is to see that they have the resources necessary to keep their excellence. We have excellent highways. My job in the Senate is to see to it that our highways are improved, expanded, such as Highway 255, 159, and all of the rest. We have a levee system which protects our bottom land, which has most of our industrial and commercial base. That's in need of repair, and my job in the Senate was to create the mechanism to do that with local control, local funding, and that's being done now. Without that levee being certified, brought up to standards, our future would be dismal at best. There'd be limitations on expansion by business. There would be catastrophic increases in insurance rates for business, as well as the 160,000 people who live in the American bottomland from Wood River all the way down to Monroe County. Those are important things. To craft a bill to punish those who make meth, which destroys lives and neighborhoods, places children in harm's way. Those are things which I love to do in Springfield. Let me make it clear that there were 2 tax proposals before the Senate. One of them was based upon a previous bill, which I voted against, which made the tax permanent and had 39 sales tax impositions. I was a no on that, remained no, and told people I was going to remain no. When I got to Springfield in January of 2011, that's what I thought was going to be the bill, and the governor initially proposed was changed because of opposition of people like me. They made it a temporary tax, 4 fiscal years, no sales tax impositions. And they also indicated that without it, the state was nearing a fiscal Armageddon, fiscal collapse. SIUE couldn't make payroll. We would have massive layoffs in public schools, losing teachers we might never get back. We had our hospitals, nursing homes. I have the state police here. I have the Department of Transportation here in Collinsville. We have the inability to sell bonds at a reasonable rate to build our highways and the SIU Science Building. All of that was indicated to me to be at stake. With the temporary tax and no sales tax impositions, I voted yes. I voted no, as I indicated, 2 years prior, when they had the permanent tax and the sales tax impositions. I was a no. I didn't promise anyone that I would remain no when I ran for election because it didn't come up. I was a no consistently. And so I did what I thought was the right thing to do in January of 2011. The pension that I receive as state's attorney was based upon my years as state's attorney. It was my county service. It was done by the authority of the state. It was signed into law, actually, by Governor Jim Edgar. And I took a salary and I signed up for a pension that was authorized by law. No more, no less. When my predecessor called me and told me she was not going to run for election the summer of 2001, would I be interested in running? I said yes. I spent, as I say, 14 good years as state's attorney. I was elected 4 times, and people knew about the pension issue, and they knew about my salary, which was, again, set by the state, not by me. I indicated to her I was going to run, but without being able to take the pension from county service, I would have faced going to the Illinois Senate and getting my salary cut by half. I was raising a family in the later years of raising a family, children in college. The pension enabled me to run for the Senate and serve full-time, in essence, in effect. I do not practice law now, and I believe it has enabled me to serve full-time without getting a salary cut by half. And it's something that I earned as chief prosecutor.
You might need to work on the pension thing a little more, but
Okay.
You're saying everything, but you're saying it
Disjointed.
too long. Okay,
Oh,
we're not
okay.
gonna work on that right now.
Okay.
I'm just,
You might think of a short statement.
well, you should have one.
Okay, I'll go look at it.